This week in the Few Publications news, Few has released a new comic book this week, and it is titled The Leopard Cult. Look at that amazing cover. The amazing cover this week is brought to you by Jason Paulos. It is an amazing cover. It blew me away when I first looked at this. It's still amazing. It's sort of got those... I feel like his artwork has something to do with... I know I'm going to say this. I feel it has a lot to do with Jack Kirby. And I feel it has... When he does his colorings on his cover, it has that, like... You're looking at it and you're amazed by it. But it's really... You can't really compare anything to Jack Kirby these days because Jack Kirby was Jack Kirby and he was the master at doing anything. So... We also have, on the 13th of October, a new Phantom comic coming out, and I will be covering that next week when it comes out. Coming up on this week's show, we have a Boss Fight Studios releasing a production update on a new figurine set. Zobaston Comics is releasing their third issue from their Phantom comic series. Dante Press is to publish a Moonstone trade paperback. You heard it right here, folks. They are doing that. It's going to be awesome. And Egmont is going to be planning to do a 2022 Phantomint Christmas album. And the new news segment is back.
Did you see what I saw this week?
Boss Fight Studio. Okay, so Boss Fight Studio this week have revealed a brand new production update. Their new latest figurine line, which is called Power Stars if you have just come in late. And they will be very soon, the figurines will be exiting production and soon fans will be able to buy them, which is going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. And Zobaston Comics also released their third issue from their popular comic book series called The Phantom. It's called The Phantom, but it's actually translated from The Phantom into Germany, which is going to be awesome. And it's awesome seeing in Germany how many people in Germany are actually reading this. Like, I've looked at Facebook Phantom groups and people are amazed that The Phantom is in Germany. He's possibly here to stay, and it's going to be amazing. Moving on. Next up, our French publisher named Dante Press will be publishing a brand new trade paperback. Yes, you heard it right from me. What will the trade paperback be about? It's going to be consisting of stories from the Moonstone era of the Phantom, and this will be awesome. Moonstone were one of the best Phantom comics if you could be around in that era, and it's a great thing that we're seeing Dante Press bring these stories that Moonstone originally created and bringing them into a bad book. It's going to be amazing. And the next big bad book is going to be from Sweden. In the Phantomint news from Sweden, Egmont will be publishing yet another Christmas album in the same format as last year. And last year's format was like... Last year's format is basically it was landscape. So it was like that. And a lot of fans really liked that format. And I know where I've said in the past how, because sometimes when they do the format for Phantom comics, they sometimes do in landscape or they do in the portrait. And sometimes you feel like the landscape vibe is like, hard on the eyes and hard to read. But last year, Phantomette and Phantom fans in Sweden loved it, and it's going to be coming back this year with a new Christmas album. It's going to be something for the fans in Sweden to look forward to coming up to the end of the year. And has this year flown by? Like, I was saying in April, I was literally thinking in April, how quick is this going? And then we're halfway, and then we're into October. How quick is this year going? And now we have our latest, newest news segment.
It's called Did You See What I Saw This Week?
This week in The Phantom, we saw the same, yes, wait for it people, we saw the same skeleton man that fans saw a few years ago. Now, if you're coming in late and you really haven't read the Phantom Daily strip for the last couple of years, so he's in the Lonago Forest, and the forest is known for its deception. It's known for it being very deceptive to the eyes, and he thinks he has seen Katu. He thinks he's seen the python running off with his costume. That leads on to Phantom discovering there's another skull cave. And who does he find? He finds the last Phantom that had passed away. And now we are seeing the same skeleton that we saw a couple of years ago in the new dailies this week. This skeleton man we first saw this week was, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday. It was first on Thursday or something. And it is back with the spooky season coming around the corner. My understanding of why this is happening is because in the current chapter, so right now we're in the death of the 21st Phantom, and it has been going on for a long time, I know. But what I reckon is because with the current chapter being the Rack and Ruin saga, and now I'm thinking, is Death really stalking the Phantom and watching him as he makes his way to Rhodia to potentially try and save Savannah from being executed in Graveline's prison? On Friday, we saw the Phantom meeting the Thing that has been watching him. Also this week, we heard from Artie himself say, "For years now, I've been thinking a way to do it. It is to write a story that puts the death of the 21st Phantom in the reader's hip pocket. A story that creates a track switching device, so meaning a two-way plot, and it may not ultimately become his present experience on the Phantom universe. It is to show his death in the secondary timeline, one that may or may not ultimately become his present experience in his current Phantom universe." Let's say in the Breakout, the new chapter that started today, that was this week, the Phantom manages to spring Savannah from Graveline's prison without getting shot. In the Moz prophecy, so the Moz prophecy that's been running over the last year and a bit, in the Moz prophecy, that wound was the root of all catastrophes. All the stuff that had gone after that is in the Moz prophecy. And if he does not get shot, if that wound does not happen, and then he doesn't send Savannah to India to kill Chief Constable Jampar, and then we do not have a 22nd or 23rd Phantom. What this story is trying to tell is that there's two story plots. One plot tells us how Old Man Moz sees the Phantom dying in a prophecy has written in a chronicle of his own. The other is the Phantom rescues Savannah from getting executed at Graveline's prison, and in the moment of him not getting shot while trying to escape the Rogue Nation. The other reason Tony DePaul talks about this is because the craft of comics, like the craft of you going down to a local news agency and buying the latest newspaper, may it be the Daily Telegraph or the Sunday Morning Herald, the days of when you would go down to your news agency and buy a newspaper is really it. The craft it's dying, and Tony DePaul has been wondering this for the last couple of years. And if for some reason King Features decides to cancel the script and the Phantom and the fans don't know how the Phantom actually passed away, then if it has two story plots and the first one has already gone, then fans already know how the Phantom passed away, so they're not left on a cliffhanger, basically. And they also know how the Phantom is in a unmarked grave site in a faraway land. We'll just have to wait and see what happens to this script. What does actually going to happen if the Phantom is actually being cancelled? Is there plans for the Phantom to be cancelled? We'll just have to wait and see. Like I've said over the last month or so, after newspaper companies, Lee Enterprises in USA and the other one being News Corp in Australia, cancelling them. Does the Phantom really need to be in the newspaper? Does the Phantom really have to keep going? Or is, for some reason, the owner's going to, oh yeah, we're going to cancel him? I don't know. We don't know yet because it hasn't actually happened yet. And as always, you can follow us on our socials on Instagram at Phantom Cave Reviews and on Facebook at Phantom Cave. If you would like to subscribe to the Phantom Cave Reviews channel, and are you still reading the Phantom Dailies Sundays online? And as always, keep Phantom Caving. I hope to see you next week. We are going to be hosting a good old community hangout next week.